We choose not to grow closer to people to avoid betrayal, rejection, and heartache. Subconsciously, we at times think that the betrayal of people brings a disturbance to our destiny, our purpose, and our calling. But what we have to understand is that sometimes the calling, the anointing, the purpose that God has for our lives will cause us to experience betrayal from people. There are some people who are close to us, who are attached to us, who may not be willing to make the sacrifices that you are making to obtain everything that God has for you. This may cause them to become jealous. They may become envious, or they may just hate you because of what God has for you. But we have to be confident enough in God to know that their betrayal and their hatred is not strong enough to stop your purpose and your destiny from being fulfilled. Only you can stop yourself from fulfilling the purpose on your life. Yes, the betrayal and the heartache may not feel good, but their betrayal does not give you the right to forfeit your purpose. So we a lot of times avoid walking into our purpose because we're trying to prevent ourselves from experiencing betrayal and heartache from people who may become jealous or envious of our purpose or our call through God. I'm here to tell you this morning that you have the right to still fulfill your destiny regardless of what anybody does to you. We think because people are out of control that God has no control. We cannot allow ourselves to become deceived by the actions of people and forfeit our destiny because somebody else doesn't know how to act around our anointing. Be discerning of those who are around you and allow yourself to still be permitted to walk into your destiny and your purpose, regardless of what they say or do. You have the control to still fulfill and walk into that thing. But because our emotions are more important than our purpose, but because our emotions are more important than our destiny, we would rather allow ourselves to experience the regret and the suffering of unfulfillment because we're so worried about what somebody else is going to do, because we think that their actions is going to cause a disturbance to our future. We allow our faith to be positioned more towards the actions of people because we're afraid to set boundaries. Boundaries are necessary for your purpose. Look at Jesus. Jesus set boundaries around Judas. He was able to discern his heart. He was able to discern his actions, and he was able to create boundaries. We're so afraid to offend people by setting boundaries that we deny ourselves the proper distance from people and situations so that we can still walk in purpose. And because we're afraid to set boundaries, we allow people to get so close to us that we become distracted by their actions. So now my faith is in that person disrupting my purpose, but it's actually me disrupting my own purpose because I'm too worried about what that person is doing because I will not set boundaries. So the problem that a lot of us have isn't the fact that people are going to betray us. We have an issue with setting boundaries. We're afraid to set boundaries because we feel like we're rejecting people. No, boundaries is not rejection. Boundaries is knowing how close to let somebody to you where they will not distract you from your purpose. Boundaries is knowing how to let somebody get close enough to you so that you will not put your faith in their failure. So boundaries is about protection. Boundaries is about focus. Boundaries is about healing. Boundaries is about facing your traumas, facing those insecurities, facing those failures, facing those mistakes. Because if I don't face those things, I end up confusing boundaries with rejection. So a lot of us have an issue with healing. We have an issue with healing. We have not taken the time or taken the steps or been intentional about our healing. We've talked about it. We've had conversation about its importance. We've done all this stuff around healing except intentionally approach it and do it. So until we get the healing that we need, we're going to continue to avoid people. All I'm saying this morning is we cannot allow our unhealed selves to prevent us from walking in community with people. Community with people is designated for our life. But if we're afraid to commune with people because we're afraid that they're going to hurt us, because we're afraid that they're going to mistreat us, then we have to be healed. And if I'm not healed, I'm going to avoid communion with people and reject the anointing on my life because my anointing is requiring me to be in communion with people, regardless of if they reject me or accept me or received me. You have to heal. So don't allow yourself to avoid people thinking it's going to disturb your purpose. It will not disturb your purpose. You are stronger. You are more powerful. You are more wise than you think. There is a power that is inside of you that is waiting on you to tap into it. There is a presence that is inside of you that is waiting on you to touch it. Do not be afraid to be who God called you to be because you're afraid to be in communion with people.